Hi, Henry.
Hey,
So in our last video, we were talking about how we can get stuck measuring our photographs as good or bad, or comparing them to other photographs, other photographers, and not measuring up, or that we have our own image of perfection of what we want our photography to aspire to be, and we don't feel like it's getting there. And it can cause this feeling of hesitation and of being stuck and not knowing what's next and getting so caught up in the swirl of thinking that we're not making. And for me, I tend to circle the airport a bit before I take a chance and use some of the tools that I have to get myself out of it. And I'm wondering if you get in that place of hesitation and swirl and what you do to get yourself through that.
yeah, no, I quite often. I think that space for me is when I get inside my head
Yeah.
too much, and so my remedy usually has been by way of I jump on the train and just ride back and forth, um, make some changes, get off a couple stops, and the whole time I'm photographing, shooting, firing the entire time. And the process usually leads me outside of my head to
Mm.
a place where I start firing and start shooting um, from a intuitive place, a place of feeling. And you know how I harp on this all the time, where um, I feel that our best work comes from a place of feeling what we're shooting, not necessarily just seeing, and not certainly not thinking
Mm-hmm.
about. So while this isn't a magic switch, it does get me turned into, it seems like in the right direction, where I
Mm-hmm.
can start kind of gravitating to those things that, those photographs that resonate with me.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you create a little project for yourself or an assignment where you get on the train and you just shoot and you're trying to just shoot without thinking about what it's about or how it's about or where it fits in your portfolio. It's just about the making of the images and getting out of your own way.
Yeah, and I think, it's one of those things where prompts or classes and these things um, kind of do the heavy lifting for us at
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And they can kind of not serve as constraints, but they can kind of nudge us into that area of where we're more feeling what we're doing, and we don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those things where it's a tool, like anything else. It can be helpful.
Yeah, I find that to be true too. Like having prompts, having somebody else say, this is the thing you need to think about today. So I don't have to worry about my epic work. I just need to think about that word or that subject and just shoot it. And I find that to be true classroom, uh, in a classroom as well, because I am not in the vacuum of just me swirling around in my own
Yeah,
stuff. And
yeah,
I'm doing the same thing. I feel like I'm going through that right now. I got a little stuck after making some work that I liked, and I was hesitating because I didn't want to feel like, my next picture wasn't something I liked. I like this feeling I'm having, but I still need to make work. So I grabbed my Polaroid camera and started taking pictures of this little dollhouse chair. I think you've probably seen a couple of them on Instagram just lately because I'm doing it right now. But I gave myself the parameters of doing 20 pictures of that little chair. And already, I think I've done 14. And around chair 9, something changed for me and things started to happen out of the blue because I wasn't thinking so hard about what it meant or why I was doing it. And it took me down this road of creativity and it hasn't ended yet. I was up at 5:30 taking pictures this morning and all day yesterday I was making work, and it really does that idea of just making for no reason
hmm
really has opened doors for me.
yeah. And it's one of those things. Again, it's where um, if you're open to it, it does change things considerably. And I
Yeah.
do think that it's always nice to have somewhat of a process. And again, that's what it's all about, is kind of getting you back into the process, not thinking about like that train. I'm
Yeah.
not thinking about destination,
Right.
uh, or I'm thinking about the journey and the process.
Right. Well, we were talking earlier about opening this idea up to our community and offering the opportunity to do this 20 photo project with us, this unstuck sort of assignment, if you will. And whether you're stuck or not, I just find that getting out of your own way and making is just an amazing opportunity to see what happens. And so we would love you to join us and take your own 20 photos and start to post them on Instagram. You don't have to post all of them, but when you post, if you do the hashtag, the here code 20, you'll see that hashtag on my feed and Henry's later today. Then we can find you and be part of this conversation and open it up to getting unstuck, what's inspiring you. I'd love to hear your tools and how this is working for you and what you're learning from this process.
Yeah, from a selfish standpoint, I want to see what everybody else is doing. If it's not what we're uh, along the lines of what we do, I'd love to hear
Yeah,
what you do and
I would too.
it's
Absolutely.
like things that are helpful.
Yeah, me too. I'd love to hear what your tools are as well. And we also want to offer you an opportunity if you do post and you use the hashtag to enter to win a free spot in our upcoming course called Rise, which is starting September 14th. And so just by posting and putting the hashtag, you're basically entering in to win. And we're going to pick somebody randomly on Wednesday morning based on who's posting. We're just going to pick randomly, and we want somebody to get in that class based on just making your work without thinking about it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see the work over on Instagram.
Me too.